My betta fish's crib needed an upgrade. I started by placing a small submersible pump into a 10-gallon tank. Next, I took some aquarium filter foam and I cut it to the length of the width of the aquarium. Well, actually, just a little bit longer than the width, so I could wedge it in there. I applied it to the bottom of the fish tank using a hot glue gun. This was going to prevent debris from reaching the pump. I used some wood skewer sticks to help prop up some of the aquarium foam so that I could add extra layers and have some support. I also applied a little bit of hot glue gun as a foundation for good measure. I took another piece of aquarium filter foam and applied hot glue gun action to the bottom of it so that I could stick it to the bottom of the aquarium where the bottom of the water feature would ultimately go. The main feature of my waterfall was going to be this large dragonstone that I had left over from my volcano polydarium build. Once again, I used aquarium filter foam and hot glue gun to secure it in place. You want to make sure you get in there nice deep like and get all them crevices. I had previously gathered some rocks from the Rocky River, unironically named. I did boil these and had previously had them in an aquarium, which is why there's some algae growth already on them. I thought it'd be kind of cool to take a couple pieces and put them along the back wall of the aquarium just to give it a kind of cave-like look. Once again, little pieces of aquarium filter foam are always going to be your best friend in helping you cheat little pieces together. It really helps stick the hot glue gun where it doesn't adhere to the surfaces very well otherwise. I actually got super lucky how well these pieces fit because I only had them 3. You know the drill, pieces of aquarium foam, a little hot glue gun action goes a long way. One thing to point out, lessons learned the hard way, make sure you move your fingers out of the way if you're going to be pushing down on the skewers, because when they break through it happens kind of quick. I used some more skewers and completed the back of, I guess, my polydarium, which is technically what this ultimately will be. I also had this one lone slate rock left over from the polydarium build as well, but I figured it'd be cool to incorporate. was some crevices in between my filter foam pieces, which I filled in with smaller filter foam pieces. And then I tucked them in real nice like and cozy with another larger piece of filter foam. The way that this rock was shaped, I thought it would be kind of cool to use as a ledge, which would create a dark space in the back of my aquarium and actually make it look like there's a giant cave back there, theoretically and hopefully. Once again, just absolutely stupid luck that this thing fits so perfectly in here. I threw a small painter's cup in for the top of the water feature. And then I also closed off the ends of the top of the paludarium with more cork bark. I secured a small planter's cup with a hot glue gun to the top left corner of the aquarium as well.
Get out of here. Raus! Raus hier! Ich hab dir gesagt, verschwinde, verdammt normal.
Did you guys like my impression of my mom? Pretty scary stuff, huh? Next I whipped out the great stuff, pond and aquarium safe, of course, which cures a really cool black color, which I already had some experience with when I did this with my volcanic paludarium. Not gonna lie, this is definitely my favorite part. Once it was cured, it was time to cut out the middle of the planter's cups and do a general trimming.
Get out of there.
I forgot to mention that I went over the hose with the expanding foam as well. It was time to figure out the water flow of the water feature. I cut a small groove on the left top side because I wanted more water to shed out towards the left, not just the right. Here we go. I had tons of black lava rock left over, and I still do, so I'll definitely be using it again, but went ahead and used that for the bottom. With the lava rock in place, it was time to start planting. I also used some aquarium safe fertilizer and sprinkled a couple little pebbles on each patch, give it a little starting boost. I also installed the light feature onto the back. I might trade this out down the road, but for now this will do. I also went ahead and filled up the tank preliminary. I was going to do a couple water changes just in case any chemicals were lingering. The reason that I used the aquarium filter foam as a backing is because I like to see the roots grow. It's cool. I had a couple of plant trimmings ready to go with roots sprouting out in my shrimp tank, which, by the way, I'm going to be rebuilding this down the road as well. I had a bunch of substrate left, Josh's Frogs substrate to be exact, which is a mixture of cocoa peat, charcoal, and activated carbon, which sheds water, doesn't mold, but is perfect for the paludarium because it doesn't cloud the water once it seeps through. I also added a little bit more aquarium safe fertilizer. Also went ahead and topped off the water to the actual water level. Earlier while I was at PetSmart, I impulse bought this moss vine thingy, which wasn't going to work for me as one whole piece, so I cut it into a bunch of little sections and started to place it along the different sections of the aquarium. I'd also bought several regular plants that I was going to be planting at the very top. For this, I repeated the same process of Josh's Frog substrate mixed with some aquarium safe fertilizer. I also put some sphagnum moss on top. This will help hold in some moisture and also keep the substrate from falling out into the water. Speaking of water, she thirsty. I'm not really sure what plant exactly this is, but it's definitely some sort of vining plant. Ultimately, I hope that it will wrap around the entire perimeter of the top of the aquarium. I think that would look pretty sharp. One last little bit of substrate and one last little bit of watering, and it was time to drain her and put it into its new home. Here's a quick overview of what she looks like thus far. I took some almond leaves and boiled them. I also had changed the water out and put distilled water in its place. I also needed to take some springtails out of my volcano paludarium, which the colony in there had really sprung into quite the colony actually, so it was no problem to take a small culture of these. This was going to prevent any sort of mold growth or just dead plant matter in general. These guys will eat it right up. Went ahead and tucked them in, and they really like fish food, so I gave them a little bit for their troubles. In the meantime, the almond leaves had finished boiling, so it was time to add them to the aquarium. I also added a couple of tourmaline balls. I also took a couple of unboiled almond leaves so that they would float at the top of the water and help my fish feel a little more secure while he gets tucked into his new home. I also added a little bit of the almond water tea, and I'd like to point out that I added about a half a gallon worth of the old fish tank water that the fish is currently in. I also threw in a couple of ice cubes to help it get back to room temperature quickly. And I also installed a blue LED light. Because I think it looks cool, that's why. He was surprisingly unbothered by all this and only was tripping for like 5 minutes. In case you're wondering, yeah, this is my kitchen, and I'm going to be looking at him every morning while I'm drinking my morning coffee. The blue LED I think looks really cool reflecting off of the rocks, and with the water feature, the way it all glows in the middle of the night, or in this case really early in the morning, personally think is really sharp. It also goes really well with the volcano paludarium at night in my living room, which just kind of ties the whole thing together in my opinion. If you guys haven't hit the like and subscribe button yet, shame on you. If you did, you're the real MVP. And if you didn't, you can always redeem yourself by go ahead and smashing them both now. And I'll see you next time for another build or possibly some updates on previous builds. Thanks. Bye bye.